Be like Berl. Be the good in the world. Be like Berl.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Be Like Berl episode. This is where we interview young adults that Jesus had brought through some tragedies, trials, and tribulations as children by using folks who were being like Berl. And there's some that we will learn that wasn't. As a reminder, Berl is the main character in our Berl Squeaver series of books. Berl teaches children how to deal with today's issues using love, kindness, and hope, which of course he learned from the Lord, his parents, and different characters he meets along the way. You can visit burlsqueaver.com to purchase your books, or go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble or anywhere and search Berl Squeaver. Also remember to like and subscribe this channel, and make sure that you please share and comment so that we can get the word of Berl out there to as many children as we can. And also follow us on our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Now to introduce our guest for today, Ms. Rachel.
All right, so we are on podcast episode number 3, and today we have with us Janie and Aalyiah Brown. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
So we met Janie and Aalyiah through Hope Church Youth Ministry. They are another set of our Hope Church Youth Ministry kids who are now our Hope Church young adults. And so their last name is Brown, but you have to know that I call them the Brown Girls. And it's kind of a running joke around here. It confuses people sometimes.
Yes, it does. There's been some interesting conversations because of it. Yeah.
But they are our Brown Girls. And girls, we are so glad to have you here. We love you so much. And we're just going to kind of get started. Like with Lindy, we just kind of jumped in and started talking about the hard stuff. And then we finished off with the fun and more lighthearted stuff. So go ahead and tell everybody what you want to know about your past. Like what trauma, tragedy, experience did you guys come through as children?
So for starters, we are a group of 6. We have 6 kids. There's 6 of us, and our mother was on drugs to start off. That's where it all hit bottom for sure. And we were always in and out of homes, staying places, and we eventually got into foster care. And through that, we were always in and out of people's houses in foster care. And it was hard because, no one wanted to take 6 kids. So definitely we was always jumping from place to place. And we didn't know Jesus back then either. So definitely it was hard, and especially for me and Janie, because I'm the oldest sister and she's right next, and we always had to take care of our younger brothers. So.
And you have an older brother.
Yes.
And then you have the 3 younger brothers below y'all. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so we were born in Memphis, and after our youngest was born, so we lived with his dad at the time. So it was our mom, Ricky's father, and then us. And he was not a good guy, to say the least. It was a very abusive household. But then our Nanna came in the picture. She took us. We went to court. And then she got full custody of us. And then that's when we moved to Hickman County. So
That's your mom's.
That's my mom's mother, yes.
And then at that time, we thought everything was,
Well, we were so confused. We didn't know what we didn't know there was custody in the picture. We didn't because we were still moving around everything.
Right.
So we didn't understand. We were still young at the time.
Right.
Too.
Very young.
How old were y'all?
I was going to say.
So we moved to Hickman when I was starting first grade.
Yeah, I was 7. I was in 2nd grade. I was 7 years old at the time.
Very, very young.
So imagine like 5-year-olds to 7, going in and out of homes and stuff like that, having no clue.
Yeah, and when we moved to Hickman, so that now our mom's just not in the picture. Our Nanna and our papa, they were raising us. And then that's also when we learned responsibility and discipline, because we didn't have that at all. So our Nanna taught us manners, what not to do, what to do, chores, how to clean, cook, all that. We were outside. That's when we actually, for a brief second, got to have a childhood, I guess you could say. So, and then our Nanna and Papa got a divorce, and that was it. It all happened early in the morning. We got out of bed, and they were like, "All right, let's go." We still didn't know what was going on, and then we stayed a few nights at the hotel here in town, and then our Nana got an apartment. We're still trying to figure everything out. We were still so confused. We didn't know what was going on. And when was that? What grade were we in when that happened? Divorce. I would say I was probably in intermediate school.
Yeah,
still
I'm
so
for
young.
sure, yeah.
So.
Still young. And for me and Janie, our brothers are still young too, and we were having to feed our brothers and, make sure they're okay and us still be strong. And same for our oldest brother, I feel like we had to raise him as well, So,
Boys.
yeah, literally.
And I think since he was the oldest, he knew what was going on, because when it first happened, that was the first time I've ever seen him cry. So that's when I knew, okay, things are getting a little serious here. So, yeah, that was a whole mess too. So, and then that's when everything went right back down.
So you came from a mom on drugs. Thought, okay, we're good. We're with Nana and Papa. We don't really know what's going on. We don't understand, but we're here with Nana and Papa. And then, bam. Right, that was like a surprise to everyone, right?
Yes.
And then from there, so you're all young. You don't really understand what's going on. I do remember you girls you were the little caretakers of your little siblings.
Oh, yes, for sure.
And so at this point, you guys were not coming to Hope Church yet, right?
No, I remember my Nana wanted to start going to church, and I guess someone told her about Hope Church, and then we started going, and then that's when we met everybody, and Devin offered her a job at Papa Cajo's. So that's how we started to know Devin Pickard, and my Nana got a job, and she was able to afford the apartment we were living in at the time as well.
Gotcha. I remember picking y'all up there for some youth events.
Yes.
All right, so you guys have a childhood, and honestly, nowadays, that's a childhood that we hear a lot like that,
sure,
right?
For sure.
So especially with us being a recovery church, we know of a lot of kids that have gone through a similar situation to you guys. And so there are people along the way, and what this podcast is about is we're talking about being like Berl. So people who were kind to you, maybe people your age, maybe adults, but people that were loving on you and showing you Jesus just through their actions or their words or whatever. So you don't have to necessarily drop names. You can if you want to. But just talk about what people did, even maybe before you knew Jesus. Now you're looking back on and you're going, oh, wow, these people were being like Jesus. And we didn't know Jesus then, or we were new to Jesus and we didn't understand. But now we see this as people who were being like Berl, who were loving like Jesus. So are there some things that you can think of that happened in your life that were like that?
I'd say first our Nana for taking us in.
Oh, yeah,
first
for
of
sure.
all.
100%.
Yeah.
She plays, I think, number one role for sure. And then once we started going to Hope Church, I'd say the Pickard family, you guys.
The Tanners for sure, yes. From all the rides and all that stuff.
Gosh, there's a lot. I'd say the entire Hope Church as a whole.
For sure. Once we started going to Hope Church, and then from the Pickards to the Tanners, they helped us a lot. And then when my brother started playing sports and we started going to school, our names started to get out there. And I think a lot of people started hearing our stories. And a lot of people wanted to come help us. And my Nana was at Papa Cajo's. So from the customers started hearing her, and they were like, just wanted to help us out. So the more we grew, the more people would actually help us out.
And I think some of that, like I said, there are those stories like that all the time, right? But a lot of that also speaks volumes about you guys, and you were just kind of, I remember you guys were just like, okay, cool, we're going to do this event. Cool, let's go do this.
Yes.
Okay, cool, we're going to do this. Okay, cool, let's go. And you guys were just ready and down for anything. And when you were there, you were content to be there.
Well, and I think, thinking back myself when you guys were young and now, you had every reason to not be good kids, as far as the the past that you guys came from. We've seen so many times where, and it's not the kid's fault.
Right.
It's just their environment. But your guys' personality. I mean, you two are so loving and caring and fun.
And they're brothers too, though.
Oh, yes.
Oh no, the boys. No, I'm just playing. We love the boys too, but yeah, y'all were such. You can absolutely tell the impact that your Nana had, because I mean, y'all were awesome. I mean, it was like I would never look at y'all and think that y'all had what y'all dealt with in your past.
When we shared our testimony at Hope Church, that's what some people didn't know, and that's what a lot of people would say to us. Like, I would have never guessed that about you guys.
Yeah. How do you think that, we talk about some people being like Berl, but how do you think that through that process, you guys kind of learned to be like Berl? Like, I mean, do you now look at somebody's circumstance and, I mean, obviously, like, you can't be, judgmental. Like you like sometimes do you think, gosh, I was there? Like,
yes, I actually have
I saw both of your faces go.
We won't name drop.
Yes,
but there was
this
event that happened recently, and there's this girl that we know. She's almost 14.
Yeah.
And she's going through this family thing with her parents it's forcing her to grow up too. And when Aalyiah and I learned about that, we both instantly knew, okay, so this is now she's gonna we were forced to grow up at a young age,
right.
And now this is her role. So we talked to her, we told her, what we had to do and how it's going to be hard.
Know exactly who you're talking about without you saying anything, and I am so thankful that you guys have connected with her.
Yes, so
100%. When we knew that was the first thing we did.
We're just trying to teach her, like, just you just have to start growing up and just worry about, yourself and your little, she's the oldest out of 4 kids, and I'm like, you just need to just make sure you and your siblings are okay through this rough time.
And we didn't have that either, so Aalyiah and I, we had to figure out what to do with the boys and ourselves by ourselves. So having to help her, give her advice, because
you really, I know you girls, and she's going to have to too, but y'all really had to give up a lot of yourselves at a young age.
Oh, for sure.
To make sure that, like a mom would do, that your time was pushed out from all the siblings, so that, hey, I'm not getting time to just go sit by myself and read a book, because I've got siblings that need a bath and haven't been fed, and like those kind of things. And that's incredibly unfortunate, but man, did it make y'all some strong,
yes, it did,
and tough individuals.
And it's crazy that, and we just talked this morning in our class that God didn't put you in the bad positions. That's not what God did. God got you through the positions, and so because of choices that you guys didn't make, they were choices that were made. Then y'all were stuck in this environment. But look what God did. And now He's able to use y'all to help another person, to help another kid.
Man,
that's awesome. I mean, to be able to pass that along, and I bet there'll be a lot more that you guys will come across at your time. So I mean, it's it's great to see.
I try to tell her, like, you just need to keep that faith with Jesus, because that's the key. And I wish that someone told me that when I was younger. So I try to remind her that as much as possible.
Your guys' maturity in Christianity is better than a lot of adults because of what y'all had to deal with.
I remember your grandma was pretty adamant about having you guys baptized, like one whole family, like because she wanted y'all all in.
Oh, yes.
Because she believed in Jesus, and she needed that in her life to get through being a grandma and not expecting to have to raise y'all, and y'all all went in the water with grandma.
Yes.
And I thought that was so
I know.
sweet that she just wanted to make sure that y'all were with her, like following with her, and I thought that was so precious.
I missed her, Nanna.
Oh, me too. Don't worry.
She's she's moved away. But
we just got back from seeing her last week.
She was awesome and a very tough woman.
Yeah. So Nanna was being like Berl, and so many people just reached out to you guys, loved on you, made sure you were at church events. I'm sure at times fed you, and you probably didn't.
Oh, for sure, yes.
Didn't know where that meal came from or whatever. So were there any instances, and one of the things we talked about on earlier podcast was, are there any instances where there was just something that you just kind of wish, you don't have to, again, don't drop names. We don't want to slander anybody, but is there just something that you wish that somebody just hadn't done that was just like not the right thing to say to a kid in your situation? Because not only do we want people to learn what to do, but maybe what not to do or what to steer clear of.
I was thinking about this. I can't really think of anything, but I know like school was tough because like all of our friends had like, they would talk about, like the events where you can bring your mom and your dad and stuff. So, and we never had to do that. Our Nana was always the one there for us. So school was probably hard because, we felt like, we didn't fit in or whatever, because we just didn't have the family support. But, we had the support. So, I mean,
I just felt like being judged by others because of our living situation. We didn't have a big house. We were always in a hotel. And, like, a lot of people knew, and I feel like people always talked about it. And I didn't want to say embarrassed, but half the time I maybe felt embarrassed in some ways.
Did y'all ever come across other kids y'all's age that necessarily wasn't like Berl or didn't treat you the way you should be treated? Is there anything that comes to your mind? Again, not naming names,
yes.
But I mean, it's it's sometimes hard for adults to think about the adults that came. But y'all were talking about how bad school was. Was there those moments?
I remember the times when we lived in the hotel. There were some kids that found out and definitely picked on me about it, and my older brother about it. For sure, because we didn't have a good living situation. There were 6 kids in one room and a mom, so it definitely didn't feel good to be judged about that, for sure.
How did you overcome that? I mean, like, seriously, how? I think because I'm just not as strong as y'all. I would have been wrecked, and like y'all, I just look at y'all and you're just so precious and you're so sweet, and I just think I would have probably done what most kids do and reacted just angrily towards everybody, like. Where did your joy come from?
In other words, Ms. Rachel's saying there probably would have been a beat down from Chinatown. But y'all handled yourself so well. And how were you able to do that?
I felt like I had to be stronger for my younger brothers, especially.
Yeah,
as the oldest sister, for like my younger siblings, I just felt like I didn't cry in front of them. I felt like I had to keep it in most of the time.
And our oldest brother, he got hit pretty hard by the whole situation. So, and he isolated himself. So, and he fell down his own little path, but has a great relationship with Christ. He's married. He's got it going, got his own house. But he had it, I think, really, really rough. So, and with us all being so close in age, the 5 of us, we really stuck together. So even though like it was really hard, we were always with each other. And then, and if we weren't with each other, we were going to events for Hope Church. Nanna would take Aalyiah or I to Papa Joe's to like wash dishes or something. So we were always doing something to keep our mind occupied for a little moment there. And I think that's why it was a little bit easier because there was a lot of us kids. So we were never, by the looks of it, we were never really lonely. It did feel lonely at times because a lot of people, at least, don't really go through this. And it's hard to find someone that goes through this that you can talk to. So,
and the boys had sports, right?
Yes. And then ever since we started working at Papa Joe's, we never left. So
yeah, it's almost like you guys, your family was disrupted in a big way, but along the way you found so much family. Like,
yes,
I feel like we almost fight for custody of y'all in the holidays because you have so much family now.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, that's so true.
Well, I'm definitely not thrilled about them going to college. Though it's great for their education, but it sucks for me not being able to see them much.
Yeah. So, let me think. So, we talked about what not to do. What about some advice to kids that are going through something like now? I know we just talked about the one instance, but like if somebody's watching this, like, and they're going through a really hard time where their family's breaking up for whatever reason, could be, drugs or abuse or just whatever, death, or like their families are broke up, like things are just going crazy. What would you tell them?
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be so hard. It's gonna feel like this is just gonna be your life forever. But now that thinking back on it, our childhood went like that. But during the moment, it was so long, and it felt like, okay, this is just what I'm gonna have to do for the rest of my life. But see, we were blessed to have so many people in our life that cared for us. And looking back, having it so hard makes me want to do really good in life. So I would you just gotta, I don't want to say go with it, but like allow it to happen. Not allow it to happen. It's hard to explain. Like
Roll with it.
yes, but you will learn from it, and it will make you a way better person and mature and see life in a whole different perspective.
So I'm hearing from you, just roll with it, let things happen, maybe set some boundaries along the way for what you will tolerate and won't tolerate, obviously. But, and then also with that, looking at it from like, what do they call that? The
30,000 foot views.
Yeah, like the 30,000 foot view, like looking at it in the big picture. So you're not focused in on hating this thing that happened, this one thing that happened, but looking at it like, how can I use this to be better? That's hard to do.
Oh, for sure.
As a kid. That's hard to do as a teenager, right? But I do think that is inspiring to other kids. Like, man, that she went through it. She's saying it feels like it's going to last forever. I feel like it's going to last forever. There's probably some kid out there saying like, man, she's right. I feel like I'm going to go through this forever. But at some point you make a choice of whether you're going to continue to go through it or not, right? Are you going to repeat the cycle? I'm big enough now to like make my own good grades and go to school and show up on time and like those kind of things. And you guys had to do that from a very young age.
Well, and they also, one of the things that in your story, the ability to be able to rely on a church family.
Yes.
The importance of a church family. Nowadays, Christianity gets a bad rap. Understandably, humans have screwed that up a lot for Christianity throughout the world. But the wonderful parts about a church family is it really is a church family. I mean, Mr. Rachel and I both literally think of y'all as our own sometimes, and just that love that the church family has for each other. It's great to hear that side of the story because there's so much attacks on Christianity today.
Yeah, I was going to say a while ago too, plugging into a church family is probably something. I mean, you guys plugged into a church family and they just kind of like took you in, and then you just added family to your list there. But I feel like plugging into a church family would be great advice for a kid. Like, you go to church, go to youth events, like plug in, be there and sign up for everything you can and be there. And just another thing too that I think about too is letting people help you.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, me too. I was like, as a kid, I always I wish that I would have spoke out sooner, because instead of like keeping everything bottled up, help find someone, like just try to go out and find a church family, or find someone out there, like a friend in school. If you're in public school, try to find someone to just to let something out,
I feel like
pray, of course.
And a lot of people probably miss opportunities because they don't know where
exactly.
It's really, sometimes you just need to say, hey, I want to go to that, but can somebody figure out a way for me to get there? Or I want to go to that and I want to be at church, but like as a kid, you're having to learn to speak up for yourself sometimes, and
it's harder for some people.
And I think accepting help is hard too, because like with college coming up, I have a lot of people that want to help me with financial whatever I need to move in. And growing up, just Aalyiah and I, taking care of the boys, we have felt independent in a way, saying like, we can do this. So accepting the help is pretty hard too, but accept the help.
Yeah.
It's hard, but just accept it.
Yeah. All right. So we've got Janie's advice on, like, if you could tell young people that are going through your situation, what would you tell them? What would your advice to them be? So we got Janie's. So what is yours, Aalyiah?
My advice, it would like try to like look, because a lot of kids don't know about Jesus, and I really wish, like the world today, like you said, just everyone knew about Jesus, and I wish I did as a younger kid. I really wish, because I feel like that if I had faith in Jesus back then, I think I would have handled that situation a lot differently. Because once I found the church, I started to learn and grow, because I didn't grow up. You know, I didn't know anything about Jesus, and I just wish that kids like that who go through those situations could just believe and have faith. And I feel like it's just so much easier when you're going through that situation, just to, if you have that faith.
To know that somebody's got your back.
Oh, for sure, yes.
Well, and it's,
Somebody bigger.
listening to the girls, it makes you want to go, see, guys, see the world. So, Christianity is a good thing, because they, there's
Well,
so
it
many.
also makes me realize how important it is to get Berl's book in the hands of kids who can't afford it. Because, we talk all the time about people that probably, a lot of people are going to go buy the book. They probably already know about Jesus, and they're being taught kindness and those kind of things. But like, you guys at 6 and 7 years old wouldn't have had somebody to probably jump on Amazon and buy the book for you. And so that's why I feel like it's so important to get the book in the hands of kids who can't afford it. Not because we want to make money, but because the whole point of Berl's book is to get Jesus in the hands of kids in a way that teaches them through this kind character.
Well, and there's so many people that come through our church, and there's so many recovery churches out there and programs, and there's so many kids that slip through the cracks, that don't have that church family, that don't learn about Jesus, and a lot of them end up in very, very poor situations, prison, dead, for lack of a better term. But being able to get Berl out there to be able to teach these kids that there are good people that will love you and teach you how to be loving and kind, and is what's really important. We just want to really, you guys have been such an inspiration to us. Me and Miss Rachel, we've taken such pride in working with the youth ministry because of what you guys have taught us. From the stuff that we've learned, and it's helped us be better Christians and better people ourselves.
And helped hold us accountable, because we see, like, man, what they came from and out of and through, and to see them so joyful and always willing to help others, and it's like, man, that holds us accountable.
Sure.
Like that, which is good. Like we want to be accountable about that. This is kind of a, we want to see how people loved like Jesus and were like Berl. That's the whole point of this podcast. And we talked about Nanna, and we talked about the Pickards and those kind of things. Is there anything, did y'all want to add anything else before we move on to like the next little part of this? I know you guys said that you just had so many people like Berl.
And thinking back to, like, since, whenever we moved to Hickman to now, like, everything worked out, like, so perfectly. And that's why I have faith. And, like, going to college, like, I want to find a community and a church that will help build my relationship with Christ. Because, like, I think about it, Hope Church and then Papa Cajo's, it all just worked out to the T. So I just...
And when they say when people say God has His hand in things, you guys are like literal living proof.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I love though that y'all came through so much, and you're sitting here saying, God's got this. It all worked out. God is so good, and man, wow.
Well, that's why I'm talking about their maturity in Christianity, because there's literal adults that can't do that.
Right.
That are Christian people, but they sometimes it's still so hard for them, so hard for us to be able to think, to during the heartfelt hallelujahs is what we've talked about. You know, during the
Yes.
times when things are really bad, to be able to keep your faith in Christ and to, you know, look back and remember that God brought us through that. But you guys do that, and it's remarkable.
Yeah. And so your screen went off over there on the computer.
It's- Where are they going now is where we're at.
Yeah. So what does the future look like for you girls who came through such hardship as kids and raised your siblings and mom was on drugs and then you were with grandparents and like there's people out there like that. What are your future plans? You need to inspire others with? What does your future look
Seeing
like?
like 10 years down the road or something.
Yeah, like what are you
Well, and
doing
what's
now?
going
What are you
on
doing?
now?
What
Yeah,
are you
what's
doing?
going on now? Where are you at now?
You can go first.
Well,
since you're
I
older.
am a sophomore at Middle Tennessee State University with a full ride and studying business management. And I am praying and hoping that I get accepted to a culinary program, and then praying that God will take it further to the rest. So,
That's awesome.
well, that's the plan right now. I just take one step at a time.
So
Just
you,
letting God. Just
yes,
letting God.
yes. Just letting God take
you
the
gonna
wheel.
go from like barbecue to like fancy stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sourdough. You come over. We'll do sourdough.
Oh yeah. Pasta.
Yeah, we do pasta. All right. What about you, Janie?
So I am an incoming freshman at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, and I plan on majoring in communications, and I'm using journalism and broadcast media. As of now, I want to be a news reporter, news anchor. I want to report about the world because I like that.
And you had
Yeah.
some scholarship.
Oh, yeah, I have scholarships. I'm good to go. Yeah.
I just
so.
know that our story's not over, to say the least.
I love
think-
that, Aaliyah. To be continued.
Yeah, to be continued.
Yeah, all of you guys, you know, I think that's part of why I wanted to do this is to showcase these kids that are, and I say kids, they're adults now, young
They
adults.
started out as our kids, though.
Right.
Yes.
But these guys can have something happen to them that could have slowed them down, but now they're on their way to conquer
Yeah,
the
like
world.
what? Like look at them go.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's, you know, just remember me and Miss Rachel are here
Oh,
in
yeah.
Pleasantville. You know, as y'all are rocking things out.
When Janie is a famous news reporter, we'll show this podcast
Yes.
and say this is where she got her start at,
Yes.
right here on the Berl Podcast.
And this one will have her own cooking show on
Yeah.
Food Network.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else y'all want to add to that? Anything we missed?
I don't think so.
No, all rainbows and sunshine.
I think we do need to add, though, that book 2.
Oh, yeah.
So Merry Christmas Berl comes out October 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It is, by the time this podcast airs, it will probably be ready for the early, where you can get on the waiting
Pre-orders.
list.
Pre-orders should be around September 15th. And so we're really excited about it. The first book was awesome. It was, of course, the first one that really started the story and it began their journey. But I'm so excited about this. I love Christmas anyway.
Yeah, well, we're a holiday family.
Right.
So.
And I'm sure it's gonna touch some heartstrings. I'm hoping.
All right, so close us out.
Yeah. So of course that'll do us for today's episode of Be Like Berl. You want to tell us a little bit? Oh, I guess our next episode will be in a couple weeks, hopefully. Still, and going to work out our guests, and we'll keep you guys all posted on that. So be watching the show or be watching our social media. And I think that's it. Thank you for spending time with us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Be Like Berl Podcast. So everyone remember to stay safe, be like Berl. God bless.